once you finish your tawaf, what's the sunnah once you finish your tawaf? The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ was to take a break and to drink Zamzam. Now, before you had to actually go to Zamzam, now you've got Zamzam all over the place. So just to fulfill that sunnah, you just take from those coolers, inshallah ta'ala, you drink from that Zamzam, and you continue on your way to the sa'i. Now, you can take as long of a break as you want between the tawaf and the sa'i. If you want to take, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it may be, because you're exhausted, you're tired, that's fine, inshallah. You can take a break, you can sit down and relax as much as you can before the sa'i. When you do the sa'i, when it comes to the tawaf, the second and third floor, and obviously the way the haram has been built now, we don't have that ramp there anymore. But the further you go away, the longer it is. The sa'i, it doesn't matter what floor you're on, they're all the exact same distance. And a lot of people just don't make the effort to go up. Always go up to the second or third floor to do your sa'i. It's so much easier, no matter what time of the year it is. Always try to go up, inshallah ta'ala, to the second or third floor. First, you will proceed to the signs that say As-Safa. You will head towards Mount Safa. Once you get to As-Safa, to the area of As-Safa, you need to recite Inna As-Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. The verse from Surah Al-Baqarah, Inna As-Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. You will then say, Abda'u bima bada Allahu bihi, that I start with what Allah started. And it says here, climb As-Safa. There's nothing to climb. Okay? It's just the area of As-Safa. So you'll see where the area is, you just follow the signs. As-Safa, used to be a large hill, but because of the amount of people that have walked it, it's eroded now. So it's just a little tiny area, but it's clearly marked. But you'll go to the area of As-Safa, you face towards the Kaaba, you would raise your hands like you do in dua. So you raise your hands facing the Kaaba like you do in your dua, not like your salah. Some people will be doing this, some people will be doing this. You'll raise your hands like dua, face the Kaaba, and you would recite the following words. The Prophet ﷺ used to say, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamd, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahda, anjaza wa'da, wa nasara abda, wa hazama al-ahzaba wahda. So the Prophet ﷺ would say this dua 3 times. Now listen carefully. The sunnah is to say this dua, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, until the end of the dua. Then to make your own dua. Then to recite the dua again. Then to make your own dua, and then to recite the dua again. What that means is you're going to recite this dua a total of 3 times, and you will make your own dua in between. Okay? So you start off, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, until the end. You keep your hands raised. You're still facing the Kaaba. And then you make your own dua. Recite the dua again. Make your own dua. Recite the dua a 3rd time. And you will not make dua after the 3rd time. So you're going to say this dua a total of 3 times while standing at Safa. And then in between you will make your own dua twice. So you'll have a period of making your own dua twice. And then you continue on to do sa'i. Okay, so you're going to do a total of 7 circuits, inshallah ta'ala, in sa'i. Every time you get to Safa and Marwa. So you start off at Safa, you walk to Marwa. When you get to Marwa, you will start from La ilaha illallah and do the exact same thing. So you won't read Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. You won't read Abda'u bima bada Allahu bihi. You'll start off from La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. You'll make your own dua. You'll say La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah until the end of the dua. Make your own dua and then say that a 3rd time. So you'll do this every time you get to a Safa or al Marwa facing the Kaaba, inshallah ta'ala. Make sure that you make the full circle on both sides. When you get between the 2 green markers, particularly for the brothers, this is a time to rush, but again, not to harm anybody, not to run, but simply to pick up your pace, inshallah ta'ala. As you're doing sa'i, you'll see the green lights to indicate that this is where the Prophet ﷺ used to pick up his pace. One very important thing, and you'll thank me for this if you remember this, you do 7 times total in sa'i, not 14. It's not 7 times back and forth. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are some people that I know that have done, and by the way, sa'i is long. All right? It's painful and it's long. Okay? Especially in the time of Hajj. There are some people that actually do 14. All right? Don't do that to yourself. Don't torture yourself. You're not going to get more ajr for that. Just 7 times total, inshaAllah ta'ala. Now it's time for you to exit your ihram. So you're finishing up your umrah, and and you're going to go back to normal until the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. So you'll have your hair trimmed. For brothers in particular, you'll have your hair trimmed, but don't shave all the way at that point. Why? Because you want to leave some hair for the second time around, to shave all the way for the second time around. So you can cut it as low as you want to, right? You could even go 0 and then you could shave at the time of Hajj or whatever it may be. But the point is that you want to leave a little bit of hair, inshallah ta'ala, to be able to take for the second time you exit the ihram. You can have your own clippers. You can do it in Aziziyah, or you can do it in the hotel, wherever you're staying. It's fine for you to do that as well, inshallah ta'ala, or for people to do it for each other, inshallah, getting out of ihram, all right? It's very unsanitary to use the street guys or the people right when you finish from Marwa. You're going to see a group of people that are shaving, so it's probably best for you to avoid that altogether. For sisters, basically what you're going to do is you gather your hair and you take from just a small tip from the back, inshallah ta'ala. So you would grab your hair and you take just from a small tip, you'd cut from the back. For brothers, make sure that inshallah ta'ala you take evenly from all of your hair. So you can't, sit there and shave from the sides of your head and then leave the top of your head and stuff like that, right? Don't try to get all fancy with hairstyles. It's all going to go anyway with the next, when you exit ihram for Hajj. All right, so just make sure that you take evenly from your entire head, inshallah. At that point, everything's halal for you. You're out of ihram until the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. So once you finish Umrah, you get out of your ihram for Umrah, you're done until the 8th. Okay? One of the big mistakes that people make is they think that it's sunnah to keep doing Umrah at that point. So I'm going to keep on going out to Tan'im, do my intention for Umrah again, redo my ihram, come back and do Umrah, and so on and so forth. People will exhaust themselves, and this is not the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? So just do one Umrah, inshallah ta'ala. If you have an oath to do Umrah for someone else, whatever it may be, and you want to do one more or something like that, that's fine. But don't sit there and try to do multiple Umrahs at that point. It's never been done by the Prophet ﷺ or by the companions. Use the extra time in Mecca to rest. People do not get this concept. You get excited, you're in Mecca, I've got a few days until the Hajj days start. Most people wear themselves out before Hajj actually starts, and it's a huge mistake. So rest. You've got a day or two, rest. Don't exhaust yourself. Don't try to fight traffic and even make it to the Haram. If you're staying in Aziziyah, honestly, I don't recommend people to fight and try to get to the Haram for that last day or two. It's too harsh. You're likely to wear yourself out. So that's a time to rest, to get yourself mentally and spiritually prepared, inshaAllah ta'ala, for the days of Hajj themselves. Okay, so the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah comes. At that point, you're going to repeat all of the sunnahs that you did for Ihram and Umrah, and you declare your intention for Hajj from where you are. So you don't have to go out anywhere, it's from where you are. At that point, if you were doing tamattu', you will say, Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan, or bihajjan. Labbaik Allahumma bihajjan, or Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan. Now, ideally, you reach Mina on the 8th day. All right, what we do in our group is we actually go out in the middle of the night on the 7th so that we can beat the traffic going to Mina. So ideally, you want to make it to Mina. It's sunnah to do Mina on the 8th day. This is called Yawm al-Tarwiyah. It was the day that they would have their camels rest up, that they'd get themselves ready for the process of Hajj. So ideally, you want to get there on the 8th day. Don't panic if you get there late on the 8th. If you get there super late on the 8th, it's okay, inshallah ta'ala. It's a sunnah. And you don't have to get there at any particular time on the 8th day in order to achieve that sunnah, inshallah ta'ala. When you reach Mina on the 8th day, you're going to pray all of your prayers shortened but not joined. The sunnah is to pray qasr but not jama'. Okay, so you're going to pray dhuhr as 2, asr as 2, maghrib as 1.5, isha, I'm testing you guys, all right? Maghrib as 3, isha as 2. Everything is going to be, you're going to pray shortened prayers, inshallah ta'ala, but in their times, in their proper times. You're not going to join at that point. And really the point is to rest. The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to rest, to try to get as much rest as possible, because the most important day of your life is the next day, which is Arafah.